I suppose I would like to take this opportunity and welcome the chance that I'm getting today to talk a little bit about the electoral amendment bill that's before us. But I suppose what I would like to say is that I think that the Moriarty Tribunal and what has come out in relation to that has done more damage to anybody getting involved in politics, and the carry-on of the past government and the Fianna Fáil and their antics, and the relationship that existed there between big business and politics has done more to damage the participation of any citizen in politics, and I think that needs to be stated to the fore here today. I suppose to speak a little bit about the issue in relation to gender quotas, I'm somebody who's a recent convert to that of quotas. I would have in the past thought along the lines of my colleague Joanna Tuffy, in that, that if women put themselves forward, they will find that there will be a positive response. I must say, for the first part, internally within the Labour Party, I have never found it to be an impediment to be a woman to be involved in politics. But I have seen since my election here to the Dáil the severe lack of women and their contribution, and I think that's reflected in some of the issues that have failed to be brought and legislated before this House over the last 20-year period. Case in point being the X case, that we still, 20 years later, do not have legislation in this country for an issue that solely pertains to the right to the body of a woman. And I do have to wonder, is that because we are not fairly represented within this House? We have heard on the airwaves this morning about the horrific cases of women having to travel to England to get the medical procedure of a termination or an abortion. Horrendous. An Irish solution to an Irish problem, whereby women are exported out of the country and people turn a blind eye. And I do have to wonder, is that reflected for the very fact that nobody has the wherewithal or the gumption to tackle this issue, because of the very fact that we are absent from this House, the House where national legislation is passed and brought through. What I will say is that I do think and do welcome the change that we're going to see in relation to funding for political parties in terms of women being chosen as candidates. I think that's a positive move. However, I do think that it is a missed opportunity at this stage that we haven't focused on local elections and local authorities' selection of female candidates, because I think in my own personal circumstances, I served on Dungarvan Town Council for 2 years prior to being elected here, and although only one of 9 members in a very small council, a very effective, very hard-working member of our section of local government, I do think that has helped. And I do think that is of a huge benefit for women, because it allows you to understand what's expected of you. I am a single mother of 1 child who's 9 years of age, and it is very difficult to be from a rural constituency in County Waterford and to have to leave your child on a Tuesday afternoon and come to the National Parliament for 3 days every week, 4 days some weeks. And I do have to think that it's not just gender quotas that we need to look at. We need to look at how childcare is provided in this country, and the expectation that's put on politicians in terms of not just the work that's done here in the National Parliament and the hours that are kept and the way business is done, but also in terms of your work in the constituency and how it can be a 7-day-a-week operation. I think that can prove to be quite difficult too. I think I welcome it. I think it gives us all an opportunity to look at how we can make positive changes to encourage more women, because it was International Women's Day just there, passed on the 8th of March, and I was very lucky to be asked to go back to my old secondary school in Waterford City and to speak a little bit about women in politics. But I think another issue that was reported there at the start of the month is that how women's pay is still lacking behind that of their male colleagues. And again, you have to wonder, why is that? Why is there a fall off when women come to a certain age or a certain level in their career, and men seem to escalate and women seem to stay static? And the same could be said in relation to politics, that you will see women all over the country who are very involved at a grassroots level in local committees, in GAA clubs, in youth clubs, and yet don't seem to want to, or are not asked to take that step forward to get involved in politics. And I think that the gender quotas being implemented will enrich political life and will give and offer people the opportunity to choose a female person or a female TD to represent them, and knowing firsthand of the 15 candidates that stood in Waterford, I was the only woman, and I am the first female TD for the constituency of Waterford for 60 years. So that in itself tells you that something needs to be done. I think it should be an interim measure, and we should come back and see how it progresses in 5 and 10 years' time.
Thank you very much, Deputy. Call now.